learn from other people, and just to have a good, what do you say in Australian? Good yarn.
Good yarn. Yeah.
Good yarn with people, and we don't need to look at the camera. We can look at each other.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Whatever. I think that's on. Hopefully the color is good. It's just like that's what it came from. At the beginning, I started actually doing the podcast back in 2017, 2018.
Yeah, right.
I did a couple of episodes, quite a few episodes. I did it with professional surfers.
Yeah.
Mostly they worked with CHEK Practitioner.
Yeah.
So I interviewed Taylor Knox. I interviewed Luke Steadman.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I interviewed Cale Brooks.
Yeah. Okay.
Pancho Sullivan.
Yeah.
Pancho was great. I mean, he was really. What would you say? What's the word? Like,
engaging.
He was like, yeah, no problem, we do it. He just didn't have the time to actually do Zoom interview.
Yeah.
So he wrote me like big things.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That I used it on. I just used it on Facebook. I used it on other platform, my website, like a blog. It was good. I guess for me, especially with Taylor Knox, I was just so excited, man, that I was like freezed at the same time because I was like, oh, this is my idol, you know.
Yeah.
Like, this is
he's pretty down to earth sort of guy, though.
But he's
conversation with.
Yeah, but he's a super down to earth. So at the same time, I was like, oh. And then afterwards, I was like stressing out, and I should have asked him all these questions, and I kind of freeze and etc. But at the end of the day, it was great.
That's a part of it, isn't it? Especially when you're starting off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just going.
You're stressing yourself out for nothing. But actually, in the last couple of that I did, like with Matt Grigg, I actually interviewed.
Yeah, that was a good one. That one,
Yeah, with Matt, which I did some coaching with him back in 2015, I think it was, when I came back from Hawaii. So I went to see him in Cronulla, and that was great. He's another guy, really down to earth. And they work together. Taylor and him, they work together. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
So do the Keely meditation stuff as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do the Keely meditation. Yeah. I picked up the Keely from Matt back in 2015, and I kept practicing it for a time. And it's a pretty. Although it's just 10 minutes of your time, is remarkable.
Yeah,
it's remarkable.
I did it in the States with one of the ladies that they taught off. Yeah, let's do like a Saturday morning. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Josh Fuller went and tapped into it. It was sick. Yeah.
Oh, Josh Fuller from Kingscliff. He used to work the HPC right at the beginning.
Yeah, he's still up there.
Yeah,
he still does his stuff and still taps into the high performance center things and with groups and
Because I remember, again, I did some coaching with him and Martin.
Yeah, Martin Dunn?
Yeah. Which I just interviewed yesterday.
Oh, up at the centre? Did you do the coaching up at the centre with Martin Dunn?
That was back in 2008.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
So you interviewed Martin yesterday?
Yeah, I did. He's a pretty cool dude.
That'd been a good conversation.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. He's got a heaps of experience. And so it was really good. And he's I have also good memory of the coaching with him back then.
Well, he's the godfather, isn't he? He's the godfather of surf coaching.
Oh, yeah, totally. So many names under his belt and so many... I mean...
Pretty much laid the foundation for the way I coach and the way a lot of people sort of coach, you know?
Yeah.
He was... I wouldn't say before his time, but he just approached it from a different angle, I suppose.
Yeah.
especially the more performance side of things. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is what do you mean by that? By what? Of course, he is one of the godfather of the surf coaching.
Yeah. So Martin sort of laid the foundation, especially for the performance side of coaching. You know, for athletes and developing junior surfers coming through the ranks. So when I was sort of starting coaching and starting out, there was Martin, who was sort of laying the foundations with all the performance side of things with coaching. Then there was all the surf schools that were coming through, you know, doing all the beginner coaching.
Yeah.
So there was a big foundation level of coaching, so the beginner surf school stuff, and then there was the performance side of coaching. When I was coming through, which was great, you know, which I sort of tapped into sort of both elements of it. But then with all the surf schools popping up around the world, you know, it's just like beginning of the 2000s, I was like, there's going to be a massive influx of intermediate surfers soon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's there's everyone doing the performance stuff. You know, a lot of people doing performance stuff, a lot of people doing the beginner stuff, but no one's doing this.
No one is doing the middle one.
No one's doing this middle ground.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I looked at, you know, my mother, who was going to tennis lessons, you know, not to be a champion Grand Slam tennis player, but she just wanted to socialise and, you know, get better at what she was doing. And then people were going for golf lessons, you know. And I was like, surfing's going to go the same way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like just the way it is. And when I started coaching, I was doing a lot of foundation beginner stuff, and we're doing surf trips up the coast here with people and teaching them how to surf as we travelled up the coast. But then we'd only have them for 5 days, and they'd actually get to a okay level by the 5 days. And I was like, but then they'd leave, and I'd be like, you're just getting to a point where I can start teaching you things. Start teaching you some cool stuff. You know, so then that sort of got myself thinking of this middle ground, you know, and I knew Martin was doing a lot of the elite stuff, and so I knew that was there, and I knew some other tour surfers that were sort of tapping into that realm as well, but I always knew that the middle ground was sort of going to be my focal point, you could say. Yeah.
When did you start coaching?
Would have been around 2000, I think it was. Yeah.
Wow. So 26 years now.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Wow.
But just sort of just dabbled in it. You know, it wasn't like I dove in and was like, this is what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Just dabbled in it. Then what did I do? I ended up moving to Western Australia for a while, you know, chasing the dream of becoming a millionaire, you know, making money on the fishing boats and the mines, and not really making money. My dream is more just this is going to give me money so I can go
freedom.
Surfing.
Some
so
freedom.
I could work for a few months, then I could go chase swells through winter, you know.
Especially on the West Coast.
West Coast, yeah. So that was sort of my plan, and then I came back to the East Coast where I sort of dabbled into sort of a bit of coaching, and then I'll end up going back to the West Coast again and working on the mines. And that was when I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to the West Coast, earn some good money, work on the mines. Because a lot of my mates from the West Coast were doing that and earning some good money. So I got there and I was like working on the mines and making good money, but it was just the lifestyle just wasn't me. You know, it was killing me. I was like depressed. And I was like, all this making money thing is it's not all it's cracked up to be. I was remember driving back in Perth one day. It's a beautiful afternoon. I was like coming back from work, and I was like, this sucks, you know. And I was like, I was way happier when I was on the beach, coaching people, making no money. You know, I was like, there's something going on here. Something's just not right. You know?
Yeah.
So that's when I went down to surfing Western Australia and sort of got my quals. Met Darren Quigley, who's from Solitary Island Surf School down here in Coffs Harbour.
Okay.
One of Harley Ingleby's good mates, and they so further on down the track they started Solitary Island Surf School, but he was working for Surfing WA at the time, and I went and done my quals with him, and then started working for Surfing WA, and just done. When I say working, I wasn't really getting paid for it. I was doing a lot of like experience. A lot of my early coaching days were just like, just give me the experience. I just wanted to learn off everyone. Yeah, and then here I am.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, it really kind of like your story is, in a sense, I think is similar to mine. It is relate to my, I'm an Italian, I've been in Australia for 20 years now. November this year is going to be 20 years. But prior to arrive to Australia, when I started surfing like regularly at 17, and when I hit 19 that I could leave after the military service. I just had just one goal in mind, just travel for surfing. And I was working in kitchen, and I couldn't care less. I remember one of the worst, I guess, in a sense, situation from work to get to work, to make money, and allowed me to go surfing was in California when I went for the first time. That I was living in Huntington Beach, and I was working in Costa Mesa, and I was making $7.75 an hour, but I couldn't care less. I was riding my bicycle from Huntington to Costa Mesa twice a day, and would take me 1 hour one way, but just the fact that I had the opportunity to surf in the morning, if I had a shorter shift in the afternoon, I couldn't care less. It could have been the double of that distance, and I would have done it. Obviously there wasn't the drive, it wasn't the money for me at that time. I was just the surfing, but also a little bit more balance would have helped, a little bit more money.
For sure.
So I wouldn't have had to buy the $1 shop steak. But
I nearly bought a house in Western Australia.
Oh, wow.
I was like in Margaret River at the time. The broker was there, like everything was lined up for me to do it. And then these cheap tickets came up. I was breaking up with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and it just wasn't the right time for me to buy a house. And these really cheap tickets to Indo came up.
Oh, wow.
And Darren from Surfing WA at the time, he was like, I'm buying one, these are super cheap. And I was like, oh, should I do it? And then I ended up just doing it, with him. I was like, I'm getting one too. And then, anyway, ended up being one of the best decisions that I ever made, because that's what got me to Indo and into like one of the best desert point swells I've ever had.
Wow.
But then that got me to meeting a few of the guys from G-Land who they were looking for surf guide at the time.
All right.
And so I just put my hand up. I was like, I'm pretty free. So I ended up tapping in and surf guiding at G-Land for that was like awesome. Not 2 months, I suppose, of the season, 2 months, but then ended up being like 5 years of,
on and off during the season.
Surf guiding there, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah. But then that's what really got me thinking of coaching just day-to-day surfers.
Yeah.
Because people were rocking up, and looking for just guidance, you could say, to get out in the water. And then that's when I sort of noticed the demographic of people that were starting to arrive. Mm-hmm. They weren't all shredders or chargers, there was a lot of people arriving that, they didn't want to surf, 10 to 12 foot, G-Land. But they got sold the dream and they were there, Yeah. So some of that guidance I was sort of forced fall into. And then then that's what sort of led me out of construction and into more coaching role, and then which led me back over to the East Coast here. And then and that's when I started doing the surf trips up and down the coast, taking people surfing. Yeah.
And that was on your own, or you were working for somebody else? Or?
My brother ended up starting a surf school over here, or a surf tour company. It was Mojo Surf, which ended up blowing up.
Yeah.
But when they first started, it was a pretty core little crew that they had.
Yeah.
And all us crew that sort of started with it are all sort of really good mates now, but it ended up exploding into a massive surf school.
Yeah. Is it still going?
I think it's still going.
Yeah.
There's still camps and stuff. But other investors brought in, and it ended up turning into more of a backpacker trip at the end.
Yeah.
It was cool for what it is, and but my brother sold out of it. The other core owners kind of sold out of it, and then I kind of saw where it was going, which is fine where it was going. That's what it needed to do for a business model. But as a personal, I was really passionate about teaching people how to surf and getting them to the next level. And I could see that it was just turning into just what a lot of surf schools are like around the world. It was just get them in, get them out. Get them in, get them out,
Yeah.
Bums on boards, they call it. That's how we make money. More bums we get on boards.
Yeah.
But that didn't suit my passion. My passion wasn't just to, make money and turn them out. And my passion was actually to teach people.
Yeah.
How to
improve.
Improve.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I wanted to do was smother the lineup with people that don't know how to surf properly.
Yeah, exactly, and sit on their bum.
Bum's getting in the way.
Yeah.
So then that's when I was in Sydney, sitting there and won the trips, and I was like, next level surf coaching. That's I was like, there's no one doing next
level surf coaching. Yeah.
So then I ended up registering the business name, and then I think I sat on it for like 5 or 7 years. The name didn't actually do anything because I was too scared. How do I approach this market? How do I? So once again, it was more just like expose myself to coaching, or different levels of coaching. Yeah, which is when that's when I moved. I moved from Mojo and helped Darren. That's when Darren moved back from surfing in WA and started a surf school over here in Coffs Harbour with Harley Ingleby, Solitary Island Surf School.
Oh, yeah.
So I moved over, I jumped over to him and helped him sort of kickstart that surf school, and we started a few Grom programs that we had running in surf in WA. We sort of started them within his surf school, sort of after school Grom programs and stuff, just taking the kids surfing. And then the high performance centre up here was getting built. And then that's when I was like, okay, surfing's about to explode. Especially this middle ground, this intermediate market's about to explode. And we ended up taking a few of the Groms up to the high performance centre for a weekend trip. Same thing, I just sort of took them up there, and did the weekend, and then. But that got my foot in the door up there. Yeah, and then they were looking for coaches, and it was kind of in my mind to sort of move up this way anyway. Yeah. And then I ended up moving up this way, ended up getting work up at the High Performance Centre. Yeah. And one thing led to another, and that things kept rolling, and then that sort of exposed me to more the recreational side of things, but also exposed me to high performance coaching as well. And then Byron was just like the epicenter for intermediate surfers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then and then that's sort of allowed me to sort of do what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, recreational to a certain extent, I guess, because at the end of the day, even around here, like there are a lot of people that works 9 to 5, but realistically, at the end of the day, their passion is, like, one of their passion is surfing. And improving in surfing. Although some of us think perhaps we don't have anything to improve.
We've always got something to improve. A lot of our stuff is maintenance.
Exactly. But is important, and I guess also is that allows people to have a more fun in the water. Once you improve, right? Once you can surf better. You do a good turn. That makes that, even if you do one good turn, that will make your session.
Well, it's, what is surfing good at the end of the day? It's like, as long as you're out there enjoying it. I find that a lot of recreational surfers, and me myself as well, sometimes we can put a lot of expectation on ourselves. To surf at a certain level. Instead of just sort of bracing where we are at the moment, and what we have on offer. I know it can get frustrating being in the water and seeing all the good guys get waves, and you're like, I want to be at their level and doing what they're doing. But then that's the other side of it, is like just breaking it down and reanalyzing your expectation and reassessing the situation, and maybe moving to another spot, or surfing a different wave, or something that more aligns with your level of surfing, or
at that time,
or just acknowledging the fact that you're out there and you're watching these guys and you're actually learning from them. And the ocean's going to give you a moment when you're ready to, you've got to be ready to take it when it gives you that moment. So sometimes I feel you can have fun at any level at surfing. It's just the expectation that we place on it can get in the road of that enjoyment sometimes. But saying what you're saying, the better we get, acknowledging what you're saying, the better we get, that fun just changes,
being honest with yourself, know your limit and know your ability.
Exactly.
Right? Which I guess also helps you to prevent to get injury. Right. Because we don't realize, but surfing is a pretty dangerous sport.
Especially here in Byron sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, you gotta be careful of other people. And you gotta be careful of the craft that you utilizing.
Exactly.
Can spring back at you, and twisting and turning. And trying to do movement, let's say a moderate speed with poor control. Leads to some pretty interesting accident. Isn't it?
And even just like, the pass can be like one of them. It's the most easy, user-friendly wave in the world, but it's actually one of the most dangerous waves in the world as well, because it does attract a lot of low-level surfers that, it's easy access. They can get out easy. They can approach the wave easy. But then, some of the incidents I've seen out the past have been some of the gnarliest incidents I've seen. And I've surfed like some of the heaviest waves in the world. Like I've surfed, Pipe and Nalu and all these places, and G-Land, and some of the heaviest incidents I've seen have probably been at 2 foot pass.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I mean, it gets more, as the sport gets more popular, more people are attracted to it. And that's when there is more needs for surf coaching as well.
Exactly,
because that's you learning the etiquette in the surf, what to do, what not to do.
100%,
So the bus, you should give your business card at the bus. Business card at the bus.
Waterproof ones. But it's hard. It's actually like, I look at coaching now, like the more I've learnt about the body and how the body works, is like surf coaches, we're literally just like nervous system regulators. You know, so many people are putting themselves in situations where they're just like the nervous system's just running on, you know, on high alert.
Yeah.
You know, the threat level's just gone through the roof. Like, we got to sort of try and, as a surf coach, you're trying to pull them out of that threat response, you know, and into a situation that they're a lot more comfortable with, so their nervous system can calm down, and then they can actually approach the surf in a more comfortable state.
Yeah.
You know, if you have someone sort of revving on high threat, there's not much you can do in that situation to teach them anything. You know, a lot of the sessions that I do, if I do sessions at the pass and stuff, majority of the time I'm just moving them into a more comfortable zone where they're comfortable, their nervous system can calm down, and a lot of the time that's away from people, you know, into a little zone where they're by themselves. You know, but it's not just the external environment too that can dysregulate the nervous system, but you know, just the craft that they're on, like the surfboard itself, can be, you know, if you're not comfortable with the buoyancy or the flotation of the board, you know, if you're on too small of a board, that can even override your nervous system and send you into a bit of a threat state where you're kind of like on the board trying to stabilize it.
Consciously.
Consciously trying to, like, you can't sort of just relax and sink into the board and let it sort of carry you in the water. And then also, and also, you know, the body itself, you know, if you've got injuries or tightness through muscles or anything like that, can sort of send the body into a high threat response as well. So nowadays with my coaching, the first thing I look at is like, how's this person presenting to me? You know, what's the threat that they're coming to this session with? You know, do I need to get them out of this situation, this lineup, into another lineup? Do I need to put them on another craft, you know, surf craft? Or how's their body moving? Like, I had a guy one day, like, he was just doing a video analysis session with him, and he took off on a wave, and he was just so tense, you know, through his, like, board was everything. He was comfortable in the lineup, his board was fine. He just surfed real tense and tight through the shoulders. And afterwards we're going through the video, and I was like, mate, how's your life been? You know, how's your life before you moved up here to Byron Bay? You know, was it stressful? He's like, Linton, you have no idea how stressful my life has been. And I was like, mate, I thought so, because I can see it in your surfing. You know, when we take off and surf, we go to subconscious mode, you know, we're surfing our subconscious. So any underlying stimulant or stress is just going to, like, shine through, you know, if there's any subconscious sort of elements at play, you know, from your past or whatever, they're just going to sort of come through. He was like, oh, you know, you have no idea how stressful my life was. You know, my ex-business partner committed suicide and this and all this stuff sort of coming out. So I was like, someone like that, for him to improve in his surfing wasn't technique, it wasn't waves, it was go get some meditation in. How can we calm
the system down?
You know, to get him more relaxed through his surfing.
More sympathetic.
Parasympathetic. More in a parasympathetic state.
Than sympathetic.
That was probably a big turner in the direction that I'm heading now by studying osteopathy. I was like, you know, there's a lot more at play with people and wanting to improve their surfing than just telling them to open up their shoulders or rotate this way.
How can you open up your shoulder if you threaten or if you're under stress and you keep hunching and closing yourself up,
100%,
into a
and if
fetal position, you know, of submission and
and if you're already, you know, in fight or flight mode, going into a surf that's threatening, like the past with a lot of people around, it's just going to tense you up even more. You know, so that's sort of, you know, sort of asked earlier, you know, what led you into studying osteo. It was sort of those sort of moments like that, you know, that sort of, yeah, man, you know, there's another element to this.
Yeah. And because throughout all these years, you done as well some DNS.
Done a lot of DNS, dynamic neuromuscular stabilization work.
Dynamic neuromuscular stabilization.
So I've done a lot of methodologies, you could say, just in that path of like trying to figure out how the body moves and the biomechanics of things and why we move a certain way and why some people move a certain way and some people don't. You know, I went pretty deep into that path, which is sort of the reason why I've kind of went and studied osteo, because I just felt like there was a lot of fundamental elements that I had to fill in. Kind of felt like I bypassed a lot of stuff. So, you know, basic anatomy, biological things, and physiological, and so which has been great. You know, it's been, you know, that's pretty much what I've been focusing on for the past year.
Yeah.
Just locking myself in my room, just, you know, just
cool.
Going through all the content, and it's been pretty intense.
So you study in Lismore or what is it?
Gold Coast.
Oh, Gold Coast.
So they stopped the Lismore campus.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're doing some online and some in face-to-face?
So a lot of it's online, but a lot of practical stuff
will be face-to-face. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, similar but different, and like Matt, when I was interviewing Matt, he was talking about like how like the mental focus during competition, for example, and he said that he was bringing up the example when he was coaching Taylor Wright. The year that she won, she didn't have a fear of losing. And so like if you don't have a fear of losing, you wouldn't surf in a conservative way, right? To pass the hit, just to make it, right? You just surf freely, like you would surf every day. So that's, again, is you don't have enough fear, right, of losing, and that gives you that that relaxed state.
Well, a lot of the time when you're working with sort of high-end or high-level surfers, you could say, elite level surfers, they've got their body in check, they've got their trainers in check, they've got their equipment in check, they're comfortable, you know, their nervous systems, they're not threatened by those things where some other people are. But their biggest threat is losing. You know, their biggest fear is losing. So that's where the psychology side of surfing comes into a lot of the high performance and elite level stuff. Is, you know, a lot of that foundation stuff is already sorted. You know, they got to get that stuff. You know, and it's the same approach whether it's a elite level athlete or a beginner surfer in the whitewash. It's you're dealing with their threat level. You know, people are just dealing with different threats. You know, their nervous systems are dealing with different threats. Which is exactly what he's sort of, you know, approaching it with, and that's sort of the mentality that I've taken. My whole, doesn't matter what level you're at with your surfing. You know, that's sort of the first thing I look at is where's your nervous system at? Are you threatened? What's the threat? You know, so it's pretty cool.
It is. It is pretty cool. We more than just muscle, skin, and bones. Right? So much more.
Well, something's got to operate those muscles, bones, you know? It's our nervous system that operates them. You know, if that's dysregulated, it's going to be hard for you to get proper function out of the body, isn't it?
Feeling your body,
and there's another cool thing that I've sort of just been looking into lately is predictive processing, like how our brains work. So instead of just like our brains receiving information processing that information and having an output.
Yeah.
Predictive processing looks at our brains as receiving information but predicting information that's coming in.
Oh, okay, yeah, from previous experience.
From previous
that
experiences,
looks similar.
that looks similar, and all that sort of stuff. And when you have dysfunction in certain elements, it's just a prediction error.
Yeah.
You know, the brain predicted it wrong, which led to the wrong movement or whatever dysfunction that sort of happens. Mm-hmm. And it got me thinking about how surfing heavily relies on predictive processing, because it's all past experiences that you've had through the surfing, because surfing, everything happens so quick that it's all subconscious, that it's all predictive, you know, movements, and you're predicting what the wave's about to do, you're predicting this, and, you know, all these elements, it's all sort of predictive processing.
It's like seeing, let's say, a shadow on the side of your eyes that looks like a snake when you walk. Yeah. And kind of like instinctively you would jump off.
Exactly.
Without even knowing.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. Because that's an innate. So, fight.
Exactly.
Freeze or run or yeah.
And then you know, even like just little things that the wave does, you know, when you've seen it that many times, you kind of predict that where those elements are going to go, and that's where you place your turn. You know.
So do you feel like to be in that sense, to be more open to new experience while you're surfing, perhaps you should focus more on feeling the wave rather than observing what is going to happen in front of you?
I think it's all relevant. You need to observe. Like, observation is first and foremost. You know, you've got to be really good at reading waves and and visualizing, because that's where the predictions only come from. You know, the better you get at reading waves and visualizing yourself surfing those waves, the better you can predict what you want to achieve on those waves. Where if you're just out there and you haven't visualized anything and you're out there just going to go give it a crack, like it's hard for your brain to predict anything, because it hasn't had any input yet. So you got to go through those experiences, but then you layer those experiences on with the feeling, and then a feeling is just another input of prediction. Once you know what that feeling feels like, you know what the outcome of that feeling is going to be.
How to press, how to push,
where to rotate. And that's where like training elements of skateboarding and trampoline work and stuff come into it, and DNS work too. You know, that's where DNS I find is really powerful, because it's so internal. You can feel like the subtle pulls of the muscles that go through your system. You know, that you need to do to rotate one direction or rotate the other direction. You know, all these little movements, those little movements, those internal movements that becomes a predictor as well. And you know, and you can start sort of predicting what your body needs to be and what alignment it needs to be in. You know, but it's all sort of subconscious, you're not thinking about these things. But to feel it, you need to do it to feel it first. So when you're out there surfing, it's subconscious, you don't have to think about it. Same with on the trampolines, you know, being in the air and upside down, doing a flip, or, you know, so when it comes to air training, you've got that feeling of what it feels like to go through that motion in the air.
And now you got the trust as well, because you perform it.
And same with skateboard, you know, surf skate training. You're getting the feeling of what it feels like to put those elements into practice with momentum. But then where I find a lot of people go wrong with the skateboarding stuff is they don't know how to skateboard yet.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to do surf maneuvers before they even know how to roll on a skateboard.
Yeah.
You know, you need to know what it feels like to roll on a skateboard first before you can actually really benefit from surf skate training.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that you get that confidence again, and you moving away from that fear.
Yeah.
Some people never step on something that is moving underneath them, and as soon they do, they stiffen up.
Yeah, they stiffen up, and they're just trying to like, okay, now I've got to work on this cutback. I don't even know how to roll on a skateboard yet.
Yeah.
Like,
the legs are
just
not
in like
flexing.
Exactly, they're just like
not breathing.
Yeah. So when I take people surf skating, you know, I put it in brackets too because it's a big market these days.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need a special truck to go surf skating. You can do it on any skateboard because it's coming down to how you stand on the board and how you roll on it.
Yeah.
And then how you visualize the process too.
Absolutely.
You know? So there's some of the elements that I work with people to begin with, is just getting them on a skateboard and feeling what it rolls like, what that even feels like.
Yeah.
Then you can start layering everything else on top of it from there.
Yes. Yeah, that's another area of training. Definitely important too.
Exactly.
For the intermediate surfer.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have that time throughout the week to pack in those hours in the water, right?
100%. Well, that's like a lot of the time you don't have the hours in the water.
Yeah.
You know, Raglan Surf Report's got one of the best videos on how to become a better surfer.
Yeah.
One of his earliest videos that he did. It was the 3 steps to becoming a better surfer. The first one was get a surfboard. The second, step 2 was spend the next 30 years of your life dedicating everything to surfing.
Yeah.
The third one was make sure your fins are in properly. But that second point is like everything. If you want to get better at surfing, everything's got to be surfing.
Yeah, totally.
Like walking down the street, just visualizing yourself.
Oh.
You know, surfing the footpath.
So many times, walking up the stairs and boom, backside.
Seeing a little bush, you know, little bush barrels, you know, little floaters off the bushes. And,
totally.
And yeah, visualization is one of the most powerful things for improving your surfing. And especially if you come into it later on in life as an adult, like we don't visualize many things as adults. We've been taught not to.
Yeah.
But as a kid, as you're growing up, you visualize everything. You know, you dream about being this and being that, and you know, and the process of getting there. So I feel like visualization and mental imagery is like one of the most powerful elements to improving your surfing.
Yeah.
So when you do go practice on a skateboard, you know, visualizing yourself actually surfing a wave. One thing that I don't do with my surf skating is put cones on the ground. Get people to go around cones. You know, I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
But what it got people doing was just everyone was just looking down at the cones, looking down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're not visualizing a wave here. They're just looking down, going around cones.
Yes.
Okay? I want them looking up. You know, a wave has a face to it. It's got
you got to look
up. It's got the top. It's got the bottom.
Where are you going to go?
You know, certain maneuvers you do, you've got to look up. Your eyes have got to pan up, because as soon as your eyes pan up, it opens your chest up and allows you to get onto the back foot just subconsciously. You don't have to think about it because you've set the intention to the right spot. Okay, where cones, you know, makes you just sort of look down so your weight stays in the one spot. Okay, you can go through the motions and the technique. Okay.
Yeah.
All you want, but your eyes are in the wrong spot, which is going to have the weight of your body through your feet in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
You know, your arms can be swinging in the perfect technical spot, but just because you're looking down, it's closed you off. So yeah, I try not to use cones. I try to get people to sort of visualize themselves on a wave, you know, and even if that's just straight lining it, you know, along the road or the path, and then just doing a high line, you know, and that's just step one. You know.
Just getting that feeling of speed and just gentle
just gentle movements.
Yeah.
You know,
Drifting.
What does it feel like when your eyes look up and your eyes look down?
Yeah.
You know, can you feel that intrinsic motion or that intrinsic movement of your body and the muscle pull that happens just from your eyes looking up? Mm-hmm. Nothing else has to move.
Yeah.
You know, just a little intrinsic up, and you'll feel a weight shift.
Yeah.
You know, it's really subtle, but they're the things you don't want to be thinking about in the water. Mm-hmm. You know, you just want to make sure the intention's set, and you know, so that's where that visualization is super important with anything that you're doing.
Yeah, totally. Like I said, I did it myself. I still do it.
We did it at kids, you know, like I remember we used to go to the skate park as kids, and you could tell the skaters and you could tell the surfers. The surfers would like surf around the skate park.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Hitting the like ramps and boom, doing snaps and whatnot. And the skaters would do all the kickflips.
The kickflips.
And all the, you know, everything else that was going on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I remember as a kid just skating, just visualise myself like surfing, and you know, as I was skating around, and when there was no you know, concrete to skate on, we'd take the trucks off and like wax up the bottoms of the skateboard decks and slide down grass hills. You know, and just psh. But same thing, you still be visualising yourself surfing, even though you're just sliding down a hill.
Yeah. I never done that one. Pretty cool.
Doing like reverses.
A snowboard, but on grass. Yeah, pretty cool that one.
Yeah, that was a cool one too. But yeah, it all came down to visualisation, you know, with all these things that we were doing.
Yeah.
You know, even on the trampoline, take the trucks off the skateboard deck, and then we'd get some rubber bike tires and just wrap them around the deck so that our feet were in, and we were just like on the trampoline just doing airs. You know?
Oh, cool.
And I'm looking up at the High Performance Centre now at all the elite training that everyone's doing. I'm like, that's just what we did when we were kids.
When you were a kid, yeah. Eventually came around. Yeah. I mean, visualization, thinking, feeling, and doing, right? 100%. Because you're thinking about something, and it kind of gives you a sensation.
Yeah.
And then and then you do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the ocean presents yourself with that wave, and you kind of, you know, you've processed everything that much that when that wave finally presents itself, you actually know what it kind of feels like.
Yeah.
Now you might not know it straight away, but you might have 2 or 3 runs at it.
Yeah.
Attempts, and then you'll get it. But that's because of all the visualization and the back training that you kind of did. You know, leading up to that.
Yeah, to that moment. Yeah. And so, do you still coaching at the moment, or you just focus on studying? Or
so I'm pretty focused on study at the moment, just because there's so much involved. You know, so much content to get through, and I just want to sort of get my head around all the content. You know, it's pretty deep.
Yeah,
but still love coaching. I kind of did a couple of days up at the High Performance Centre a week ago, so that was cool with a bunch of Groms from Coffs Harbour, and then still just do the odd private every now and then, but trying to sort of more just focus on
your study
right now. Yeah.
What do you think is the most prone injury, or what are the most pro injury for intermediate surfer?
Oh, depends where you are. It's a pretty broad question, that one. Like, everyone's so different. You could say, like, you know, nearly boards to the head. would that be one?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's where you were going with the question, but I'm thinking like
musculosklerally, like knees, hip.
Yeah. Like, I feel like more like degenerative kind of, you know, injuries.
Okay.
You know, like osteoarthritis, and especially in the hips or the knees or that sort of stuff, which
from lack of mobility, poor mobility, not enough like
all
preparation.
Well, osteoarthritis these days is it's not so much degenerative, but it's more like an inflammation problem, isn't it? So, it's going to come down to diet and how you're living, lifestyle factors.
Yeah.
But it's mobility too. Like, I find with surfing, and I wouldn't probably put it into the intermediate bracket. I'd probably put it into more the recreational bracket of surfer. You got, boards to the head are probably more intermediate level, because they're trying to figure everything out in the water, putting themselves in probably locations they shouldn't be in, But as a recreational surfer who surfs a lot, maintenance is probably going to be the biggest things, just to avoid, any arthritis or poor mobility, which sort of contributes to those elements. Because in your 20s and even 30s, you can surf all day long, every day, but it's not until you get to 40 and 50 where I dropped the ball when I was 20 and 30 by maintenance, body maintenance, rebalancing out my muscle chain. That's when I'm going to feel it, is when I'm 40 and 50. You start to lose muscle, once you're 30, but you really start to lose it sort of past 40 and 50, into your 60s, and you really start losing a lot of muscle mass. But it's when you're in your 20s and 30s is where you're going to bulk it up, and your bone density is all going to come from that era of your life. You know what I mean? So one of the biggest issues I find with recreational surfers is poor mobility or degenerative sort of issues, inflammation, driven from not maintaining themselves. Because surfing, when you surf, it's fitness. You can get fit, but it's postural wise, it kind of breaks you down. You're in these weird postures all the time. You're hyperextended paddling. You're using the same muscles over and over and over again. You're standing one way, so you're loading up one
side,
one hip, one glute more than the other. You're always rotating one direction. So it's that coming back to the gym and rebalancing the system. Is probably the most beneficial thing you could do on that element of things, for sure.
And I guess with those mobility issue, then they open up to labor and tear for hips or shoulder, FAI for hip.
But like a lot of those issues happen when you're in your 20s though. Like the foundations get laid in your 20s and 30s, but you feel it in your 40s and 50s. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Because of lack of stay on top. But you didn't feel it in your 20s.
So you didn't do nothing about it.
You did nothing about it. And then you go up and things are not. Actually, they degenerate more because we start losing endogenous production of collagen.
Exactly, 100%.
And your diet plays a huge role on that. So if you have a shit diet, that will be like
it leads to inflammation.
1.5%, if not 2% a year.
Exactly.
And then you wonder why your body is all wrecked. But
don't get me wrong, you had a hell time.
I feel, for example, like that. Like you said, the lack of mobility, and for a recreational surfer, the warm up before you getting in the water is really important, because prep the body
100%
to actually getting in the water. And you're not all cold and stiff and I find that's definitely for myself. I always did it and I keep doing it, and it is something that get you ready to paddle.
Well, instead of like having 4 or 5 waves, I think I heard John on a podcast just recently talk about it, and I've spoke about it for forever. When I through all my training, like instead of taking 4 or 5, 6 waves to warm up and you know, you're on first wave, you can paddle out there, and sometimes it's your best wave of the whole surf because you've warmed up properly and connected all the dots, you know, through your system, got the fluid moving, lubed up the joints. Warming up and movement's key, just to get the body, you know, just like putting grease through all your joints, isn't it?
I was about to say, you know, like, I mean, you studying osteopathy, and you probably already cover all of that, but, you know, synovial fluid, just through your joint, through the spine. If you're doing some standing up on the beach, nice and slow, and that works your hip, works your shoulder, works your this, works that, and, you know, your core, and doing some static lunges or whatever.
I think you hit the nail on the head too. Like, you know, keeping some of the movements slow and controlled, especially to begin with. Yeah. Just to get the feeling of what it feels like.
You know, you're warming up.
Then you sort of leave a few of your sort of plyometric kind of jumps or rotations sort of towards the end.
Toward the end.
Yeah, once you sort of, everything gets lubed up. But I feel with surfing too, like, sometimes people can get a little bit too plyometric with their training and surfing. Which is sort of all the jumping and springing and throwing themselves around. Very rarely when we're in surfing, we're throwing ourselves around too much. You know?
As long as you're
really
not
controlled.
Toledo.
Exactly. Well, visually it looks like we're doing that. You know, when you stand on the beach looking at someone, you know, hit a lip, but a lot of it's really quite finesse, you know. It's quite soft movements, but from the beach it looks explosive.
Totally.
You know? So it's getting that in those intrinsic movements and connections, you know, together before you get out there, because, you know, a lot of time when you're doing a big cutback, it's not a big, powerful movement. It's just a set the rail, and it's just an intrinsic kind of rotation.
You hold in it, hold
it, and then you sort of release. But even the release isn't too explosive. You know? You got to know how much to release.
Otherwise, you're going to start spinning.
Otherwise, you throw yourself off the board.
Exactly. True. You way too far ahead. You just go past the foam section. The foam bowl.
But everything has its place. You know, time and a place for everything.
I mean, if you hire a professional surfer, which is different from a recreational surfer.
100%.
You are, you know, like I said, if you're not Filippo Toledo, or that are actually going out there and boost an air up in the air, you know, 4 feet on top of the wave, and then landing on flats. And that's a pretty explosive movement.
That's when you want durability. You want to be able to know how to land and know how to take
all that pressure,
take that load.
That load. That's your body. Who knows how many times your body weight you absorbing in that landing?
Exactly. 100%.
I mean, if you when we go running, there is about 3 times to 8 times your body weight going through one leg. So can you imagine if you go up in the air 4 feet 100%. And landing?
Onto a flat. It's nearly heavier landings than like snowboarding. You know,
possibly.
A lot of the time on the snowboarding, they're landing on a slope where it kind of catches there. Unless you get it wrong. But surfing, you kind of send it. The guys are sending it to the flats and landing on flat water, which is.
What was it? It was Iago Dora that they did at Raglan. He landed right on the flat. He spin it
off. Is that the 10 that he got? The 10?
I don't know. I don't know which one, but I remember I have this image, and I think it was him. That landing on the flat.
It's mental what they're doing now. It's insane.
So you definitely need that if you're doing that.
If you're at that, if you're at that level, and for sure, 100%.
And I guess for the recreational surfer, those things are important, but not as much as, like, for instance, your endurance, your strength, your core, rotational force or strength are very important, and the foundation, your feet.
Too. 100%. Well, a lot of people have got work boots on, don't they, all day long?
All day long, and
or office shoes, or they're sitting down, like sometimes we can look at what the elite level surfer are doing with their training and the way they train, but then we've got to think about the type of surfing they're doing, and
the lifestyle
they have as well, to train and to prepare for that stuff. Where recreational surfers, they got work commitments, they could be driving in cars forever. I'm not saying that pros aren't doing it, they're traveling all over the place.
Kids.
But they're working on a job site, or they're working in an office, or they're standing all day. There's other elements that they probably should be doing first, just to balance that stuff out. It's more maintenance, you could say.
Probably more important because for the surfing itself, right, on a wave, that's a skill, right? Is like, if I do chin up, so that doesn't gonna get me better paddling, right? It's gonna get me strength, but not efficiency.
Exactly.
Right? I can have as much strength that I want, but if I can't paddle properly with good technique, right? I'm probably gonna screw up on my shoulder.
Well, you see all the, I remember seeing all the gym junkies, we used to call it back in the day, all the big roided guys, and that you see one surfing and they just wouldn't be able to paddle. Strongest man ever.
Totally. So what I want to say is, for the professional surfer, they doing a lot of endurance already in their week, because they're going to be spending time surfing.
100%,
They need that. What they do is just finesse work to just keep their body balanced, keep their body mobile, right? The time, especially with the schedule that they have, if you are on the WQS, that you have all these events throughout the year, then you're doing some events through which are like pre-qualifying for. You are on planes, on cars all the time, and it's pretty much counterproductive to actually have 3 sessions of gym a week, because you will be draining yourself.
For sure, and it depends, depends what those 3 sessions are too, like,
if you have it well planned, that you actually have a plan behind, that you have a coach that puts together a plan that is actually sensible,
beneficial to you,
that is not digging on your bank energy account.
100%.
But for the recreational surfer, that's what is really important, because if you work 9 to 5 and you don't have the opportunity 3-4 mornings a week to go in the surf, go into the gym, have 2-3 sessions a week of gym session, again, the sensible, with the focus, with the purpose, not just I'm gonna go there and then gonna do just a couple of
traveling around and
bicep curl loading up the bar as much as I can, because I feel there's gonna be benefit, and I'm gonna pack up more. Anyway, that's probably where the training is more beneficial and important, because then it will get you been moving throughout the week. Then you have those days that you are able to go surfing, and the body is been moving, the muscle are toned, you just gotta warm up properly, and then you go into the water and you're gonna have a fun.
Exactly. And just having your morning routines too, your little daily routines that you do, like movement, between that. And I know it's hard with a lot of people, they're getting up, 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning to go to work or do what they got to do. But giving yourself a moment through the day to have a little bit of a movement routine to go through that you can sort of always fall back on. But yeah, I understand it's hard for a lot of people to get that time. Sometimes they got to put those gym sessions in because that's the time they have.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
And I feel like also there is a lot of confusion in what is needed, like for instance, for endurance, for a surfer, for everyone really, is realistically is zone 1, zone 2, meaning we're having a conversation while we're having a jog.
Going for a walk, or you're walking up hills and
walking up hills, or having a faster pace, but you can still have a conversation. And that's everything that you need. Is not all those crazy session on the rower or skier that you can't
it's not 5 sessions a week. 45. And then, which is beneficial to some extent for different elements, but longevity purposes, and because you're going to be surfing as well, which can get pretty high intensity at moments.
It is,
but then you have a lot of calm moments too. So I think you hit the nail on the head, like that zone 2 area. And I find that with junior athletes as well, kids, especially when they're going through their growing spurt, they're not doing enough zone 2 work. Kids don't walk to school these days. They get driven to school, they're on the bus. They don't ride their bike to school anymore. If they do, they're on an e-bike. Especially around here in Byron. But they're just not getting that zone 2 stuff, which is so important for their tissue development, because their bones grow so quick at night time, when they're sleeping. At that, that early teenager mark where they're not doing enough zone 2 work for their tissues to catch up to their bone growth. They'll just go to like their footy training or their soccer training or go to a gym session, and just a high intensity session. They're just going to high intensity stuff, for an hour. Where they're driven there by their parents, dropped off, high intensity session, picked up, drove home. Which creates too much pull on the bones, when their muscles are contracting too quick. So there's not enough sort of zone 2 stuff that, walking to school for an hour or so, or
repetitive.
2 hours, just casual stuff, just to help the fluid move through the tissue and help the muscles just slowly adapt to that new bone growth, if you could say.
So if I would ask you, what one things that you would suggest to a recreational surfer?
One thing to make sure you're on the right board.
That's really important. It is.
Because like I said, it's how your board carries you is going to allow your nervous system, to adapt to that. It's got to be able to, your board's got to be able to, you got to be comfortable on it. But, you don't want it too big, but you definitely don't want it too small. You're best off being a little bit bigger than what's comfortable, than a little bit smaller than what's comfortable. Equipment, especially, that's for your sort of intermediate recreational surfer, you could say. Definitely.
Great.
Sweet, mate.
Thank you so much.
No worries, bro.
That was a really good chat.
It's a big one.